The galaxy had forgotten about humanity long ago. Most alien civilizations believed humans were weak, emotional, and easy to control. They had broken Earth, destroyed its defenses, and scattered the remaining humans across faraway slave worlds. For the galaxy, humanity was nothing more than a sad chapter in history, a small species that rose for a moment and then disappeared. But in the quiet dark of space, far beyond any known star map, humanity had been rebuilding in silence. No alien had expected their return. No one believed they would ever become strong again. Now, something strange was happening. At the edge of the galaxy, scanners in several alien stations started catching an unknown signal. At first, the readings made no sense. The energy signature was too large for a trade ship, too stable for a rogue comet, and too controlled for a natural event. Operators thought it was a glitch. They rechecked their systems, but the signal only grew stronger. A moment later, a massive shadow appeared in deep space. The scanners tried to identify it but failed. The object was too big, too advanced, too fast. Officers from different species watched their screens freeze before a message suddenly appeared in a calm, cold human voice. Humanity returns. The aliens stared at each other in silence. It felt impossible, like hearing the voice of someone who died centuries ago. Some younger officers did not even know humans once existed. Their commanders explained the old history quickly, but with a hint of fear in their voices. Humans were a species that the galaxy had broken, enslaved, and erased. They were never meant to return. Yet, here they were, and the signal was not weak or frightened. It was steady, focused, and strong, almost too strong on the nearest alien capital world. Emergency bells rang across a giant city made of metal towers and floating bridges. The Council of Stars gathered inside a large, glowing chamber. The members were confused and worried. The largest one, a tall creature with silver armor plates, asked his generals how strong the human presence was. They showed him live data feeds. A massive fleet was forming near the galactic border. Not one or two ships but hundreds, and each one was unlike anything the aliens had seen before. The hull designs were sharp, armored, and glowing with blue energy lines. The engines were powerful enough to tear space itself. No alien ship had ever carried this much output. The council members argued loudly. One asked how humans built such ships. Another claimed it was impossible to hide a fleet this size. A third whispered the most frightening thought. Maybe humans had found allies. Or perhaps they had discovered lost technology the galaxy ignored. Whatever the truth was, one thing became clear. These returning humans were not weak. They were not slaves. They were not broken. They were something new. Far from the panic of alien worlds, the human fleet moved smoothly through the dark. At the center of the formation, a giant flagship led the way. Inside it, Commander Eric Voss stood in front of a large viewing window. His face was calm, but his eyes carried something deep, a memory and a promise. Behind him, officers worked silently. They knew what this mission meant. For generations, humans had been forced to hide in secret colonies, mining unknown resources, trading quietly, learning, growing, and designing technologies far beyond what the galaxy believed possible. They had been waiting for this moment. The fleet began its approach toward the first alien border world, a planet that once held thousands of human slaves. Sensors detected the human ships instantly. The alien defense officers panicked, shouting orders, activating shields, and preparing weapons. Their commanders tried to hail the human fleet, expecting the old human tone of fear. But when the humans responded, their voice was steady and controlled. "We are not here to negotiate. We are here for what was taken." The aliens froze. This was not the humanity they remembered. The first alien warship launched interceptors. They moved fast, trying to surround a single human cruiser. Their pilots mocked humans on open channels, confident they could overpower this lonely ship. But within seconds, everything changed. The human cruiser released a bright pulse of blue energy. The alien interceptors vanished in a flash of light. "No debrisa, no escape pods." Just silence. The alien fleet realized their mistake too late. Human technology had advanced far beyond anything they had expected. Fear spread quickly across the galaxy. Rumors traveled faster than light. Some said the human fleet carried new weapons that could break planets in half. Others claimed the humans had built engines that could jump through solid space. Every alien leader tried to understand the same question. What did humanity want? Revenge? Justice? War? Mercy? Nobody could tell. But every new piece of information pointed to one clear truth. Humans were no longer a weak species. They were powerful, united, and driven by something far stronger than anger. Commander Eric Voss watched the alien border world appear on the main screen. His officers waited for his command. He closed his eyes for a moment, remembering what this planet once was, a place where humans were chained, beaten, and treated as labor animals. But today, humans returned not in chains, but in warships brighter than stars. He opened his eyes and spoke calmly. "Begin the approach. No firing unless they force us. We take back what is ours." The human fleet moved forward, glowing blue like a rising storm. The galaxy finally understood the truth. Humanity had come back, not as victims, but as a force no one could stop. The galaxy was not ready for what came next. After the first human ship appeared and stunned every alien observer, the shock began to spread from system to system like a silent storm. But humanity had not returned alone. Far behind the first ship, hidden inside deep shadow and distortion fields, a massive human fleet waited quietly. In Part 1, the aliens only saw a small part of human power. Now, in Part 2, they would see the scale of humanity's true return. The Reclaimer fleet moved slowly but with perfect discipline, every ship following a pattern that only humans understood. Their technology was something the galaxy had never seen before. Their engines had no loud flare, no heat signature that other races were used to tracking. Instead, they glowed with cold blue light, almost like deep ocean waves. Even from great distance, aliens felt uneasy watching them. It was like seeing something that should not exist. The humans had disappeared from the galaxy long ago as slaves, weak and hopeless. But these ships looked nothing like a race that had ever been defeated. These were ships built by a civilization that had suffered and learned. The narrator of this chapter focuses on one alien outpost as the human fleet approached. This small station orbited a dead moon, manned by a handful of alien officers who never expected to face anything dangerous in their careers. They had spent years scanning empty space, logging simple cargo movements, and playing simple board games to pass the time. Life was slow and predictable. But today, when the warning alarms rang, at first they thought it was a glitch. The sensors on these old stations were weak and often gave fake readings. But when the readings kept repeating, the officers finally activated the external cameras. Their screens, which usually showed nothing but quiet stars, now displayed rows and rows of approaching ships. One officer whispered that maybe it was a mining caravan. Another guessed it was a military training exercise. But the oldest officer on the station grabbed the controls and zoomed in. His eyes widened. These ships had no alien markings, no known IDs, no familiar shapes. They were smooth, dark, and cold like metallic shadows, with glowing blue lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. They were human ships. But the aliens did not recognize them because no human ship in recorded history had ever looked this advanced. The officer tried to send a warning message to the Empire Command Center, but the signal did not reach. Something was blocking it. Only humans had that kind of jamming technology. Fear spread inside the tiny outpost as the ships came closer. But the Reclaimer fleet never fired. They simply passed by, silent and perfect in their formation. The aliens inside the outpost could not understand it. If this fleet wanted war, they could have destroyed the station with one shot, but they ignored it completely. T was not a target. It was beneath their notice, like an ant living near the feet of a giant. That moment, a strange thought passed through every alien mind on the station. Maybe the humans were no longer looking for revenge on small outposts or small soldiers. Maybe their goal was bigger, something deep in the heart of the galaxy. Rumors had already begun spreading stories that humans were not just returning, but returning to claim old colonies, to rescue their enslaved people, and to judge the powerful alien empires that once ruled over them. A few alien officials in the core worlds began preparing statements, trying to show sympathy and pretend they had never supported human slavery. They wanted to rewrite history before humans reached them. But humans knew the truth. The human fleet continued moving through space, reclaiming abandoned human worlds one by one. Some planets had nothing left except ruins and silent cities. Others still held small groups of enslaved humans waiting for help. Every time the Reclaimer fleet freed these humans, the rescued people cried with joy because they had believed no one would ever come for them. The alien slavers who had controlled these colonies ran away in fear. They had always considered humans too weak to fight back, but now they saw a power that made their own fleets look like toys. Meanwhile, deep inside the flagship of the human fleet, the Reclaimer commander stood in silence, watching the galaxy map. The map displayed hundreds of marked locations, every world that had hurt humanity, every planet that had stolen from them, every empire that had used them like tools or animals. The commander did not speak much. He simply whispered, "We take everything back." His officers understood. Humanity was not here for random destruction. They were here with purpose. Every movement of the fleet was planned. Every target was chosen for a reason. Every world they passed was part of a bigger path, a path leading toward the center of the galaxy where the most powerful alien governments lived. These governments had once shared humans like property. They had traded human children. They had used human workers in mines until they collapsed from exhaustion. They had erased human culture from history books. And now, seeing the return of the Reclaimer fleet, they were terrified. In meeting rooms across several alien capitals, leaders shouted at each other, confused and desperate. They argued whether to negotiate, fight, run, or beg. But one fact became clear to all of them. No alliance in the galaxy could stop the human fleet. Not anymore. Humanity had built something the galaxy could not understand, something beyond fear, beyond pain, beyond slavery. They had built unity, and unity was stronger than any empire. As Part 2 ends, the human fleet continues its silent advance, while the entire galaxy waits, afraid of what humanity will do next. The judgment of humans is coming. and no one knows who will be the first to face them. The galaxy watched in silence as the human fleet continued to move forward, and rumors spread even faster than the ships themselves. Every alien who heard the news felt the same cold fear in their chest. For years, the galaxy had believed humans were weak, broken, lost, and scattered. Now they were returning in powerful ships that no one had ever seen before. Ships so advanced that even the oldest alien minds could not explain how humans had built them. As Part 3 begins, an alien patrol station floating above a dying red star detected a strange signal. The station commander, an insect-like alien with a cracked jaw and nervous wings, told his crew to stay calm, but even he felt his legs shaking. In the corner of the screen, a shape appeared, small at first like a dust particle, then growing larger and sharper, until the crew realized it was not one ship but a formation of several human vessels flying in perfect silence. The alien crew froze. Their senses could not identify the human technology. They had never seen energy signatures like these. The engines looked like blue fire, but the heat readings were impossible, far higher than any known reactor. The alien commander shouted for a scan, and when the results appeared, the entire room fell silent. The human ships carried enough firepower to destroy 10 stations like theirs in seconds. But what scared the aliens more was not the power, it was the calm way the ships moved, without any attempt to hide or threaten. Humans did not need to threaten. Their presence alone was enough. The aliens tried to open a communication channel, but the humans did not answer. They simply passed by the station like giants walking past insects. The commander felt humiliation burn inside him. Once, his species had forced humans to work in their minds. Once, they laughed at how fragile humans were. Now humans had returned, stronger than everyone, and they were not even looking at them. The patrol station sent a desperate message to the Central Command, but by the time the message reached the High Council, the human fleet had already crossed 3 more borderlines. In another part of the galaxy, a second alien species tried to stop a human scout ship. They sent 3 destroyers, confident in their numbers, but the human scout did something they had never seen. It vanished for 1 second, a flash of blue light, and reappeared behind the alien ships. The aliens panicked and opened fire, but the human ship dodged every attack with impossible speed. Then the human ship fired once, only once, and the alien destroyers were disabled, not destroyed. The aliens expected death, but humans did not kill them. This confused them even more. Why would a powerful enemy spare them when they would not have spared humans? The answer came moments later when the human commander finally sent a message. It was short, simple, and calm. Stand down. We are not here for you today. The alien officers trembled that humans had not come for them, at least not yet. Across the galaxy, alien leaders gathered in their great halls, their metallic towers, their organic chambers, and their floating palaces. Every species was asking the same question. How did humanity rise again? Where did they rebuild? Who united them? But no one had answers. What they did know was that humans were moving towards something, a destination deep inside the central region of the galaxy, a place once filled with human suffering, old slave worlds, abandoned human colonies, places the galaxy hoped humans would never see again. Now those places were receiving human signals. As news spread, millions of alien civilians panicked. Some fled their cities, some burned records of how their ancestors treated humans, some prepared weapons even though they knew they were useless. Others prayed to their gods and asked why humans were spared and allowed to rise again. In one of the oldest alien cities, a young alien worker ran to his mother and asked if the stories she told him about humans were true. She whispered that humans once cried and begged for mercy, and no one listened. Now she feared that humans would not listen to them either. But in the darkness above the city, a single human drone passed overhead. It scanned the area and moved on. It did not attack. It did not harm anyone. This created more confusion and fear. What were the humans planning? What did they want? The galaxy waited for an answer, but the humans kept moving forward, silent and unstoppable. Somewhere inside the main human flagship, the human commander stood in front of a large holographic display. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. His eyes were cold but calm. He remembered the past clearly, the pain, the loss, the chains. But he also remembered the promise made by the last survivors. One day, we will return, not just to survive, but to change everything. And now that day had come. The human fleet prepared to enter the central region of the galaxy, and every alien world watched in fear, waiting for the moment when humanity would finally reveal its true intention. The alien council chamber felt colder than usual as the warning alarms slowly faded. Every alien leader sat in silence, staring at the large hologram in the center of the room. It showed the human fleet moving across the star map like a dark wave. No one spoke for several seconds. It was as if the entire room feared that even a single breath might bring the humans down on them faster. The council leader, a tall creature with silver plates on his face, finally forced himself to speak. His voice shook slightly, something his species never allowed. He said that the humans were advancing too quickly, far faster than any projection from their intelligence teams. It was impossible, he said, for any species to build so many ships in such a short time. Another council member disagreed. She said the humans must have been hiding for years, quietly rebuilding while the galaxy ignored them. Some in the room whispered that humanity had help, maybe from unknown allies. Others believed humans had developed strange new technology, something far beyond what the galaxy expected from a once broken species. As the discussion grew louder, the chamber lights dimmed suddenly. Everyone went silent as a new message appeared on the hologram. It was a human transmission. It contained no face, no symbol, no voice, only a simple sentence written in bright, cutting letters. "We remember everything." The words floated in the air like a threat from the dark. The council members shifted nervously. One of them asked why the humans refused diplomacy. Another replied that humans were never given diplomacy when they were weak, and now, maybe they no longer believed in it. The council leader ordered an emergency defense plan. Heavy ships were to be moved to the border. All weapons were to be charged. Civilian worlds were to be evacuated in case the humans reached them. But deep inside, everyone knew the truth. No plan would stop the human fleet. Far away from the council chamber, in a small mining colony near the border, everyday life had changed. Workers moved quickly through dusty tunnels, whispering about the human return. Many had never seen a human in their lives, but their parents had told stories of humans who begged for mercy, who worked under harsh alien masters, who died without rights. Now those same humans had returned as a force so powerful that entire star systems were surrendering without a fight. In the colony's main square, a group of miners watched the sky nervously. They had heard rumors that the human fleet sometimes appeared without warning, dropping out of hyperspace like ghosts. Some said the humans destroyed only military targets. Others said they wiped out whole cities. No one knew the truth, and fear filled the empty spaces of their imagination. Meanwhile, on the bridge of the human flagship, the commander stood silently, watching the stars drift by. His face carried no anger, only a cold focus. He understood the weight of every decision. He remembered the old days when humans were treated as less than alive. He remembered how the galaxy watched them suffer and did nothing. Now he led a fleet stronger than any single empire. And yet, he did not want total destruction. He wanted justice. He wanted the galaxy to feel the fear humans once felt. But he also needed the galaxy to learn. Not through mercy, not through forgiveness, but through understanding the cost of cruelty. His officers waited for his command, knowing that whatever he decided would rewrite the galaxy's future. The human fleet approached another alien outpost, one that had once served as a slave market. The alien guards panicked as the giant human ships appeared on their scanners. The outpost commander tried sending a surrender request, but before he finished speaking, a massive shadow passed over the station. It was the human dreadnought, larger than anything built by the surrounding systems. The alien commander stared at it in awe and fear. His voice shook as he begged the humans not to fire. But the humans did not attack. Instead, they sent a message ordering the aliens to gather all records, every slave document, every transport list, every order given during the years humans were enslaved. The aliens hesitated, confused. Why would the humans want old records instead of fresh territory? The dreadnought's message repeated, "Bring every record, bring every name." Only then did the aliens understand the truth. Humanity was not here to conquer planets. Humanity was here to confront history. As the records were transferred, the outpost trembled under the quiet presence of the human fleet, and the galaxy slowly realized that humans were not acting blindly or out of rage. They had a plan, a long, painful plan that would force every species to face their past. The tension rose as the human commander prepared his next move, and every alien world waited, wondering whether they would be judged next. The alien council chamber fell silent as the human admiral's message echoed across the galaxy, and even the strongest leaders felt fear settle in their bones. The human fleet, now spread across several star systems, had stopped destroying ships and had begun something far more frightening. They were choosing which alien worlds to approach and which to ignore. To the aliens, this silence felt more dangerous than any attack. Rumors spread everywhere that humanity was preparing something final, something that would decide the fate of everyone. In the center of it all, the human flagship waited, cold and quiet, like a giant judge watching the galaxy. The alien leaders, desperate for answers, gathered again. Some shouted that they must surrender completely. Others cried that humanity would accept no peace. A few still believed they could hide their past crimes. But even they were shaking. They all knew what they had done to humans centuries ago. The slave camps, the forced labor, the broken families, the destroyed cities. They had never expected humans to return, and they had never imagined humans would come back stronger. The most frightened among them were those who once used human slaves directly, because every day more evidence leaked. Humans had collected detailed records of which species hurt them the most. As the tension grew, the human admiral finally moved his fleet toward the largest alien capital world. Every ship approached slowly, almost peacefully, but the message was clear. Humanity was not coming to talk. Humanity was coming to choose. Alien citizens gathered in streets and watched the sky as thousands of human ships covered the atmosphere like a steel storm. No weapons fired. No threats were spoken. The silence alone was enough to break the courage of entire armies. Inside the council hall, the doors opened and a single human soldier entered, carrying a small device. He placed it on the center table and activated it. A hologram appeared, showing images of the past alien guards beating humans, children crying in cages, entire human towns burning as alien soldiers laughed. The room froze. No one could breathe. But humans had not forgotten anything. The human soldier spoke in a calm voice that scared them more than any weapon. You all believed humans were weak. You believed humans break easy, but you were wrong. We rise stronger after every fall. The council tried to speak, but the soldier raised a hand and continued. Humanity is not here for revenge. We do not want your planets or your empires. We want something far greater. We want the truth to be known, and we want justice. His words created shock. Many had expected destruction, but justice, that was something none of them were prepared for. The soldier explained that every leader, every commander, every person involved in the old human oppression would face a trial, one by one. No hiding, no escape. Entire empires that once took pride in hurting humans now fell to their knees. Some begged for mercy. Some tried to run, but human ships tracked them instantly. Across the galaxy, broadcasts played the same message. The time of lies is over. The time of judgment begins. Civilian aliens watched with mixed fear and guilt, wondering what would happen to them. Some believed humans might destroy every world involved. Others hoped humans would show the mercy they had never shown in the past. But humanity's new fleet did not behave like the old, angry victim they expected. Instead, they acted like a new power, silent, disciplined, unstoppable, and surprisingly controlled. As the human soldier prepared to leave the council hall, he spoke one last sentence that shook everyone to the core. The galaxy broke humanity. Now it is humanity who will decide what this galaxy becomes next. And with that, the first trials began. And aliens across thousands of systems felt the weight of a new truth. Humanity had returned not as slaves, not as victims, but as the new force shaping the future of every species who once believed humans would never rise again.